We're sitting here with Norm Macdonald at Kevin McPeek's Bigger Vidcast, and we're backstage at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. Worked 4 shows with Norm. Absolutely hilarious.
It was fun, man.
Wasn't it fun?
Yeah, you were awesome, Kev.
I appreciate that. And obviously, legendary comedian. And I'm going to ask you some of the stuff that I always ask every comic. You know what I mean? When you were coming up, like who did you listen to? Like as first comedians, who do you remember watching and listening when you were younger?
Oh, when I was young?
Growing up.
Yeah. When I was young, growing up, my dad always listened to Bill Cosby. And it was funny because he was not a tolerant man of other races. But, as a matter of fact, I later told Bill Cosby that, and it made him happy, you know, because it seemed like even though my dad was not a tolerant man of races, he loved Bill Cosby more than anybody. So we always listened to him when I was a little kid, and that was the first, by far the first, before anyone else. Yeah.
Okay, and then like when you got into the 70s and early 80s?
Then it was like when I was a teenager, we all listened to Carlin, George Carlin, and,
Richard Pryor.
Not Richard Pryor, no.
Really?
I mean, I don't know why, but it was George Carlin and it was Cheech and Chong.
Oh,
We're kind of like the underground guys. I think maybe Richard Pryor was too sophisticated for me or something, or I just, for some reason, I don't know why I missed him, because I listened to everybody else.
Right.
I don't know why I missed him.
Huh.
Maybe he hadn't. Maybe he was a little later or something. No, that wouldn't be it. But anyways, obviously I love Richard Pryor the best of anybody.
Right.
I don't know when he came into my consciousness.
Exactly.
But when I saw Richard Pryor, I was like, oh my God, like.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, that guy. That's like crazy. That's like when you read books and then all of a sudden you read, you know, Leo Tolstoy or something. You're like, whoa, that's different, you know?
Right. You know what I loved about Pryor was he would always animate, like, these inanimate objects in the stories.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Like, my heart would say, or the cows, or, you know, the car said.
And the smell, you know, and all that.
Right.
You're right. That's amazing.
It's like you sort of like, wow, his heart has a point of view in this story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you talk about his heart attack or shooting the car. Or
and the lion, the tiger making the move and stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the heart. And then God would put him down.
His heart would say, you know, and then shooting the car, and the car's like, oh, man, you know. And I remember
and his
like,
acting was so amazing in those films because it was so small. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't big like Carlin's was big.
Right.
Like Carlin did that big overblown acting, and Pryor did like real small stuff.
Right. And Carlin Richard Pryor, he would do every character in the story.
Yeah, that's right.
Like he went around.
Right.
You know. So here he is walking, then the dog's like, I'm gonna fuck him.
Right.
And then he's playing his heart, and then he's playing you know. It's like you're going, wow, he steps into every role.
Yes.
And tells the story, and you're like, man, that was.
It seemed he had everything in the arsenal. Yeah.
I think we talked about it earlier. Like Flip Wilson was big in my life.
Yeah.
And he was like that, where he would be, you know. So the devil said, and then you do the voice.
That's right.
And then Geraldine said he'd do that Geraldine voice, and you know he played every character. And you know, I don't know that I would ever have the guts to try something like that where you do every character in the story.
Oh my God, I am so unphysical. You know what I mean? Like I remember like I watched Brian Regan and I go, man, I wish I could move and make my jokes come more alive like that.
Well, but you know what you do?
I'm scared.
You do something more like you do a visual painting. Like
I guess with words a little bit.
When I listen to you talk, you picture it in your head. You watch the little movie of what you're talking about in your head. There are comments where I'm like, okay, I understand what he's saying and that's funny, but I don't picture it or I don't live it, you know.
Yeah.
But like when you talk,
that's nice.
I feel and like working with you the last couple of days, I think I talked about this earlier. It's hard not to talk like you. I found myself like going, so I want to, do a little interview there. You know, and that's why I feel like I want to talk.
The funny thing is, I don't realize I have an odd voice until people do impression, or until I hear.
That's the worst impression ever.
I always think it doesn't sound like me, but then when I hear a tape recording of myself, I realize that it does.
That's what I sound. Well, obviously you've had a great career. as far as doing the things you want to do? It seems like you've been able to. I
always wanted to do only thing I ever want to do is stand up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So everything else was just sort of came along with it.
Yeah, just like Mitch Hedberg used to have a great joke about. I can't remember how it went, but like
writing the script.
Yeah,
rewrite it. I'll just send you a copy.
That's a great joke. No, but he said like they make stand-ups like be actors and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you go, you don't do that to, if you're a good fisherman, you're a good fisherman. Can you farm? Or whatever, something like that. But that seems to be what they do in LA a lot, especially with acting, because stand-ups aren't really
respected.
Yeah, and they're not respected at all. And they're not really fitted to be actors that much. You know what I mean? Right. As much as like the Grambling guys and stuff like that know how to talk to each other. Right. Like stand-up's a very specific thing. And so even though things came my way from stand-up, sometimes I wish that I'd only done stand-up,
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted to do from the start,
Yeah.
But it was only stand-up.
So was it like an agent or a manager that got you, that kind of pushed you into the other stuff?
Yeah, it was. They offered me Saturday Night Live, and I felt I couldn't turn it down because the guy told me if you can write on Saturday Night Live, and then maybe get Update, And I wanted to do Update because I knew I could do that as a stand-up because Dennis Miller had already done it as a stand-up, And
funny guy.
Yeah, he's really funny. Yeah. He's a great guy. And so I did that, but it's strange, like, because I always kept doing stand-up. I love stand-up, but then I realized coming back, then when I do stand-up, people expect things from you because they know you from. I always think they know me as a stand-up, but no one really knows me as a stand-up. Oh. So they know you from all these other
people that know stand-up know you as stand-up. Yeah, like the general public.
But the general public would go,
do Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they say do Burt Reynolds. I don't do impressions or I did Weekend Update, so they think maybe I'm political, but I'm not political. So sometimes it's and I'm a little you know what I mean. I've done so many things, so it's like Dr. Doolittle, and then I'm doing some real dirty joke, you know what I mean? So,
right.
But I like comedy clubs because you can do anything and you can be your own man and no collaboration and except with other comics going over jokes and helping each other. But.
Yeah. That's what I do miss is like anytime I find myself working like more casinos or like more corporate stuff. I miss having other comics around.
Yes, definitely.
Like when you're in a corporate situation and you go up in front of all these people, and you're the only one there who really knows how to be funny. You almost feel like you've been thrown to the wolves. You know what I mean? When you're in a comedy club, and even if I take a week hosting, like a club like Mark's, I love to come in and host and just have fun and work on new stuff. And I worked on 3 new jokes this week.
That's awesome.
It was so much fun. But I miss the camaraderie of just sitting down.
It's interesting when you say hosting, because people are all, I'm a headliner, feature, whatever. But I was talking to Cosby one time I met him. I wasn't, but I opened for him, and he was telling me when he was in New York, he was the biggest comic, and he would the MCs were the lowest comics, and he says he always would say I'll MC, and his idea was he'd MC, for 15 comics or whatever, and in between he'd do 5 minutes each. And he just always try out stuff, no pressure. And he said that's where he came up with this, this flowing ability of his to storytell, because he did it with no pressure between acts instead of being the final guy with all the pressure on him. Right.
And it's funny because this week, bless their little hearts, I've had more people come up and go, for an MC, you're really funny. Usually the first guy's not that funny.
Yeah. That's the other great thing.
And I feel bad because I feel like, those people are starting out and they should be in the cradle. Like, let a veteran open the show.
Yes.
And then
agree.
Let's bring a new guy up and let him do his little thing. Yeah. We'll nurture him a little, and then we'll bring out someone else and take the show home.
Actually, where I started in Canada, and that's what they did. The MCs were all very experienced.
Right.
Which made complete sense.
Yeah,
because, good Lord, that's the first guy you see, and if he's only done stand-up for 2 months, that could go off the rails easily.
Right.
So and I've been MC. It's fun. like you're the guy that
Right.
you're their buddy and stuff. And it's,
You know, it's funny. I've always said, like, rather than a stand-up comedy class, they should teach. Like, I would love to teach an MC class.
oh, that's
Like,
a
take
great
all the
idea.
MCs from the town and go, you know, for $20, come in on a Saturday, and for 2 hours, I'll show you how to MC.
Yeah, that's a great
How to
idea.
do it right.
That's a great
and,
idea.
and you will become a better comic the better MC you become.
Oh, but
And
for
people,
sure.
and people, I can't wait till I'm not MC. And I'm like, well, Billy Crystal just MC'd the Grammys.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or the
right.
Oscars
Yeah,
or whatever.
right, exactly.
So you know, you're going to climb the ladder to become an MC. David Letterman hosts his show.
Yeah, he MCs pretty well.
Right. He comes out. He's the first person. He does his monologue. Then he
Yeah.
brings out. I said, you're going to climb the ladder to become an MC.
That's a great
So
point.
learn these skills because they're going to serve you later. Hopefully, you know,
That is a great
if
point.
you have a good career.
That is a great point.
If you weren't doing this, what do you think you would like to do, or what do you think you would be doing?
Well, I didn't get into stand-up right away, so I was like about 6 years after I left high school. I was doing manual labor, which I would probably still be doing.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot because I think I liked like the aloneness of it and like because I was always the lowest guy and just you know doing jackhammer or
Big ol' hole
something
over
or
there.
something. And yeah, and you kind of your mind just goes away. You just have fun thinking, daydreaming all day.
Right, right.
Which I think
Wish I was a stand-up comic.
I didn't know there was such a thing. That was the funny thing when I started out. Because I'd see them on the Tonight Show, but I thought there was only maybe 8 or 10 in the whole world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I never thought of that.
And like I never thought that. And then suddenly I just got lucky enough to walk into a club. You know, I was like, oh my God, there's a whole world. You know.
Yeah.
I always tell people because they're like, I can never do it. I don't want to do it. I go, just do it. Doesn't matter. Like even if you're no good. Like I would, because I remember on amateur night, that's way more thrilling than like tonight. Like, I remember the first times I did it, that was the crazy thrill, you know,
Right.
where it was amazing and stuff.
Yeah, when you
It's
can
like-
barely remember being up there. Like, you
Yeah,
remember walking up, you
it's
remember
like-
walking down, you're like, what happened
it's
in the
like
middle?
a big, but it's so cool.
You know what I find so funny is when you look back at old tapes. You have old tapes of yourself?
Yeah, oh my
And
God.
you know what's killer to me is, like, I watch an old tape, and I was amazed at how ambitious I was as a young comedian. Like, 6 months in, I was doing these really complicated, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the world made me think I could pull that
Oh,
off?
yeah.
You know, I mean, now I almost go, I could actually make that funny now.
Right,
you know, when
right,
you look at the old
right.
stuff. Maybe that's where the gold mine of material is,
Yeah.
you know, in the old tape.
I also think, like, when I see the old tapes, I can't believe how badly I'm doing and how I thought I was doing well. Like, I think you have a tin ear or something dilute. You know what I mean? And maybe 6 people are laughing. That's
Dilute
enough
yourself.
for you. So you're like, hey, I'm getting
I
some
made
laughs.
someone laugh.
Yeah. Whereas nowadays we'd
Yeah.
be fucking, oh my
Yeah.
God, 6 people are laughing. You know, this is horrible.
It's weird, and you know what's funny is it's not just, when you find out too, is it's not just you. Like I've you know, you've been closing the club where like some feature act comes off, and you almost feel bad for them, they did so poorly, and they come up and go, boy, they were great, huh?
No, that's bad.
And you feel like I would hate myself if I had that set you just had. These people are, you know.
You can't be too diluted. I mean, you know what I mean? You can't be diluted after the late into your career.
Yeah.
At some point you have to.
Well, Norm, I really appreciate you sitting down with me.
Oh, it was
It was
awesome.
an absolute pleasure to work
It was a
with
great
you.
week,
So
man.
funny.
It was a great week. It
What
was
a
so
talented
fun.
guy.
So fun. Thank
Thanks
you.
again.